Hi, I'm Brad Smart, and the title of this top grading tips article is Top Grading Costs and Return on Investment. We at Top Grading Incorporated might be just a little biased, but we honestly believe there has never been a human resources or talent method that has so consistently demonstrated anything close to the effectiveness and the sky-high ROIs of top grading. Here's a short summary. In this article, you'll see that with typical costs for working with my company, Top Grading Incorporated, when implementing top grading, and with very conservative estimates, the ROI for an implementation of top grading at a mid-sized company, say 1,000 employees, can approximate 12,000% when just calculating the ROI for managers. And the ROI can approximate 20,000%. The total return for the total company that is totally top graded. Here's top grading in a nutshell for those who don't know much about top grading. Top grading replaces screening from too often deceptive resumes to screening from honest information because we have a truth serum that is fair and is very effective. Secondly, top grading replaces shallow, easily faked competency or behavioral interviews with a very in-depth top grading interview. And top grading replaces practically worthless verification with reference checks with next door neighbors and so forth with very solid, reliable verification because reference calls with former bosses are arranged by the candidate. Here's some evidence that top grading is the best hiring method. For one thing, there are dozens of named case studies. Go to www.topgradingcasestudies.com and you'll see 40 recent named case studies in which the average improvement in hiring was from 26% to 85% high performers hired. Let me repeat that. Before top grading, only 26% of those hired turned out to be high performers. Since top grading, the average across those 40 case studies is 85% high performers. And that's more than a 300% improvement in hiring. And by the way, a lot of those case studies top graded all jobs, not just the top management jobs, but down to part-timers. And by the way, a PhD dissertation at a major university is currently vetting these results. The CEOs of the case studies vouched for the integrity in the data that showed spectacular improvements in talent, and the CEOs say in their own words, again at www.topgradingcasestudies.com, you can read their own words how they say that top grading has made the company more successful. These are in just the latest round of top grading case studies as reported in the best-selling third edition of Top Grading. Previous editions had other case studies, and hundreds of additional companies have shown us that companies committed to top grading do dramatically improve talent, which, of course, dramatically improves company performance. We can find no case study of any testing company, interviewing company, human resources consultancy that claims even a fraction of that 300% improvement. And we can find no case study in which the CEO, any CEO, has said that HR initiative, that hiring method made the company more successful. Their stated ROIs of companies purporting to improve talent are, frankly, a tiny fraction of what top graders report. Next section is entitled Top Grading Dramatically Reduces Costly Mishires. The top grading cost of mishires form, and you can click, if you go to the article, you can click on it to get it, is the most used, most quoted form of its kind. And we have decades of research showing the average cost of a mishire to range from 5 times annual salary to 27 times annual salary, depending on the level of the company. The 27 times salary, of course, is for CEOs, very, very high level people in very big companies. 5 times salary is much lower level people. Whenever companies estimate the costs of their mishires, they are aghast at how high those costs are. And with a typical company hiring high performers only 1/4 of the time, 25%, that means that 3/4 of the time, they actually incur those painful, costly mishires. So how about an example? This is a hypothetical example. It's a mid-sized company, we'll say with 1,000 employees, and we'll say there are 60 managers. Let's assume the average manager earns $200,000 and the cost of a mishire at that level, a managerial level, is a conservative 10 times that $200,000 or $2 million. Again, we've researched this for decades. For a $200,000 per year manager, the estimated cost of a mishire, $2 million, is on the conservative side. So here are the elements of this case study, hypothetical case study. Let's say the 12 managers are hired in the next 4 years. That's pretty average, right? The company with 60 managers. Let's say that pre-top grading, the company averaged only 25% high performers hired. That's typical. Let's say that with top grading, hiring success only doubled. Now that is really conservative. So that instead of only 3 out of the 12 turning out to be high performers, 6 out of the managers hired turned out to be high performers. And so the conservative cost of a mishired manager would be, we already said, 10 times the base salary of $200,000. That's $2 million. 6 mishires out of the 12 times $2 million is $12 million. So the cost of those mishires in an average sort of company with average sort of results and conservative top grading results, $12 million. And one of the things we put in the cost of mishires form is how much time is wasted on that mishire. It's typically 200 hours times 6 mishires equals 1,200 hours in the next 4 years, with your sharper managers sweeping up after the low performers. The top grading costs, let's say that 4 managers attended our 2-day top grading workshop, conducted every quarter in the Chicago area, $14,000. Let's say there were 3 internal top grading workshops to train all the managers at $25,000 a piece, that's $75,000. And for an annual license to use the copyrighted top grading materials, $5,750 for a total cost of $94,750. So the return on investment is the $12 million cost minus the $94,750 divided by $94,750 equals an ROI of 12,565%. Let's suppose further that if each manager avoided just one mishire, okay, one mishire, someone reporting to them at a lower salary level, let's say $75,000, and with a cost of mishire of only 5 times that $75,000, that's very conservative, that's $375,000 for a total of, you got it, the ROI is 60 times $375,000 equals $22,500,000 saved. The ROI calculation is 23,647%. Sure, there are internal costs associated with any significant initiative. You'd have the cost of additional meetings. If you're going to measure quality of hires, there's the cost in having people do the measurements and so forth. But there are also huge additional cost savings, just, for example, in not bringing in so many mediocre candidates and wasting time interviewing them. The general rule of thumb here is the more costs and savings top graders analyze, the more necessary and cost-effective top grading becomes. Now, are these numbers, throwing a lot of numbers at you, are they, I've said they're conservative, but are they not all that easy for you to believe? Then here's what I recommend. Calculate the cost of mishires and potential top grading ROIs for your company. You can do this on your own by entering your estimates of your success hiring and the cost of mishires. Just go to www.topgradingcalculators.com or preferably call us. We'd love to talk with you. Call 847-244-5544. And one of our friendly client services professionals will gladly walk you through the various estimates and calculations. In conclusion, top grading, for those who know about it, is common sense, but common sense on steroids, consistently achieving dramatic savings by avoiding costly mishires. Top grading is remarkably easy and very inexpensive to implement, producing those sky-high ROIs. Until next time, top grade your team and you will top grade your profits.